Guys, we watched a video the other day where Blake Lively was at this women's summit in 2022, and she basically illustrates the ways in which she used underhanded tactics, subversive tactics, to take over the creative control of the production of the movie. I want to rewatch that clip and draw it back to this petition that was launched that wants to remove her PGA, her Producers Guild credit from the movie It Ends With Us, because it's kind of indicative of how just big the public backlash against this actress is. So let's rewatch the clip first, then we'll go through this article, and then I want to wrap it up with a few more things because more information keeps coming out about this case. Colleen Hoover has, who is the writer of the book It Ends With Us, who initially supported Blake Lively right when the story broke, when the initial information was launched and it seemed like everyone was on Blake Lively's side. Colleen Hoover came out in her favor, same as her talent agency, which dropped Justin Baldoni, and the terrain has changed heavily since then. It feels like a lifetime ago, but it was like just before we went on Christmas break, so like December 20th was like when all of this information launched. So before we get into this article, let's watch this video again so you can get an idea of what we're talking about in case you missed it from the video the other day. Again, this was at a 2022 Forbes Women's Summit of the Power Women's Summit. Remember, guys, as I said in the previous video, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter when you are. There is a women's summit going on somewhere. So let's listen to what she has to say.
It's just as important to say, okay, I believe in this, and that's why I'm standing up for it, and that's why I'm not being difficult. And then there are other moments to go like, am I the asshole in the room? Like, what is happening here? I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to...
Again, that was what you were hired to do. I don't want to reiterate and spend a bunch of time reiterating what we talked about in the previous video. That is literally what you were hired to do. You were not hired to do more than that. You were hired to show up and deliver the lines. If you want to be more collaborative with the director or even the people who are doing the costume design, it is not your job to subvert people and take control. It's your job to try to become collaborative with the writer and the director and everyone involved in hopes that they will be receptive to that idea. Some will not. Oddly enough, it seems that all of this is going on about her, what happened with Justin Baldoni, who seemed more receptive than a lot of directors when it comes to collaborating with their actors.
To be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be appalling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing and the costume design and creating the character. And
okay, even if we were to accept the first two there, it's not your job as the actress to create the character in backroom dealings or trying to get involved in the creative process. You can suggest if you want to ad-lib and you want to see for ad-libbing, if you want to ask about the potential of rewriting certain scenes, you can see if that's possible, but that is not your job. It is not what you were hired to do.
Sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So
that's because what you were doing is underhanded and not the right thing to do. It's actually unbelievably deceptive.
I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull.
It's literally a rug pull. It is that.
Because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do.
So, become a producer and actually start producing your own films. And then you can be involved in all of that without all of the hard feelings that come from trying to get involved in something you were not hired to do.
And so it was a really strange position to be in because I felt like I don't want to just be an actor. Like I want to have more authorship.
It's weird because it's always framed in these situations because it's a women's summit that maybe I'm reading into it, but it feels like when these things are done at these women's summits that it's being framed that she would be kept out of that position because she's a woman, when in a lot of ways directors have to be tyrants, and it doesn't matter if you're a male actor or a female actor. The director knows what they want from the production. The writer knows what they want from on the page. It is not your job to make those changes. But, that's what they're talking about. She's talking about, using underhanded means to get there, which is why this petition now exists. And it says, petition to remove Blake Lively from It Ends With Us receives thousands of signatures. Although Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni's trial isn't set to start until March of 2026, the ongoing drama continues to make headlines, with the latest being a petition to remove Blake Lively's credit from the movie altogether. Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds have been accused of hijacking It Ends With Us production from star and director Justin Baldoni before launching a campaign to bury him. Lively, meanwhile, has accused Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment on the set of the 2024 movie. Look, you can go through, we've got endless videos on this topic. You can go watch our videos on the hiring of the intimacy coordinator and everything we do with that, the text messages that were sent back and forth of them. Right here, what we are talking about is her desire to rug pull and take the credit of somebody else's work and take somebody else's project, and clearly for Justin Baldoni, a passion project of his through his production company, and make it about her. Do you remember when they felt that she was trivializing the message of the movie by focusing on the clothes that the women were wearing rather than the message of domestic violence, or the theme of the movie? I can't even argue with the success, because the movie was made on a very small budget and it ended up becoming very successful. But that success is not the point of this discussion or of this argument. The point is, if this movie was to fail because Justin Baldoni wanted this movie to focus more heavily on the themes of domestic violence, then it deserved to fail because it was his movie that he was invested in, and she used unscrupulous means to get involved. So what's funny about this, guys, worse than that, I went to the petition, which was initially looking to get 10,000 signatures. It did hit that mark. It was over 11,500. And then when I refreshed to start this video, it says that the petition is now closed. And I don't know. Look, I don't regularly frequent the change.org petitions. What's funny about it is most of the time when you talk about change.org, you're talking about how futile even using it is. Very, very few things. There was Renew the Acolyte change.org petitions, and I don't think anybody actually believed that we were going to get season 2 of The Acolyte, that Disney was just going to be like, here's another $180 million because a couple 100,000 people signed a petition to bring The Acolyte back. It's not a recipe for success. If anything, it ends up being kind of an inside joke if you're the type of person who covers a lot of this stuff. But I want to know who closed this petition. I don't know if the person who set this petition up closed it. I don't know if change.org closed it. It would seem in line. Look, I don't know, putting the tinfoil hat on, but it seemed like anytime we went live with stories about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively that were negative, all of those videos would get limited monetization, which we weren't getting at all recently. We were getting a lot of limited monetization, demonetized live streams leading up to the election. After the election, it seemed like the floodgates opened and we weren't getting any of that at all. I won't accuse anyone of anything. I don't know. But I do know that they started again whenever we would have a show leading with these topics. So make of that what you will. I'm not sure. But another thing that's really interesting in all of this is she is now seeking to get his phone records. They filed a subpoena to get his phone records going back 2.5 years. A lot of people feel like this is a desperate attempt to try and win back favor amongst people, as if they're going to, it's like a Hail Mary. Are they going to be able to find anything in those 2.5 years of phone records that indicate what she was suing him for, when he has been so forthcoming in releasing all his information on this website that he has that's cataloging every bit of interaction between them, is going so far as to taking in information that has been discovered by TikTokers who have found information in metadata that even his lawyers weren't able to get. But what's even weirder now is Colleen Hoover, who of course wrote the book that the movie is based on, who, as I said at the beginning, was very, very quick to take Blake Lively's side publicly. It was one of the many dominoes that fell in that initial release of the lawsuit and the smear, in the hit piece article that came out in the paper. And at the same time, his talent agency dropped him. He had his allyship awards taken away. And, you know, we dunk on the male feminists here, absolutely, but it is very, very difficult to look at the way in which these two unbelievably powerful people seem to smack this dude down at every corner, to see the way that his reputation was just hammered over and over again at the beginning. And you see him do these interviews, and he comes off as deeply emotive. He comes off as sincere. I tend to tell people that you should never take anyone in Hollywood, no matter how sympathetic they seem at face value. You're only getting a 2% glimpse into the world of these people. Don't attach your rig. Don't hitch yourself to any one person, because the minimal amount of what we see of these people is always going to leave the door open that you could be 110% wrong. But if we're just talking about PR, which is what all of this is, it is one massive PR battle. He is winning the PR battle because he comes off as a much, much more sympathetic person than either Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds seem to be capable of managing. Just as an aside, I thought it was interesting that, yes, Colleen Hoover, who did leave Instagram after all of this backlash started, has deleted all of the posts and everything that were related to the movie. And in doing so, I thought what else was interesting was that she was still following Blake Lively on Instagram, but she is not following Justin Baldoni, which is what, people were saying the opposite of that yesterday on X. So I went to see, and it looks as if she is still, let me see if I can still check that here. Let's check here. All right. She does still follow Blake Lively. And if I remember, his was at Justin Baldoni. So let's see if No, she does not follow Justin Baldoni. What's funny is I did laugh at this. I'm guessing that the fact that she follows POTUS means that she was more interested in following Joe Biden than she was Donald Trump. But I could be wrong. I could be 110% wrong. Who knows? All in all, guys, I don't think all of it speaks very well to Blake Lively's chances of reinvigorating her public image. Her and Ryan Reynolds have both suffered unbelievable blows. I don't think it's going to end his career. I think that Ryan Reynolds is a very, very powerful producer in Hollywood, and at the very least, he can wait this out for any length of time, continue producing, and by the time the next project comes out, you have to wonder even how many normies actually pay attention to all of this. I don't know, like Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard became this very, very big cultural moment outside of just the digital media sphere. I don't know how much this case has penetrated that into the normie culture the way that Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard did. So if Ryan Reynolds announces his next movie and it comes out, is it going to cause a significant decrease in the amount of people that go to attend that movie? I don't know. I just know that the man has a lot of power. The man has a lot of resources. He can absolutely wait this out and try to reinvigorate his career later. One thing this does speak well for so far is that Justin Baldoni does come off as a very, very sympathetic figure in all of this. There will be a lot more information to come out about this. I don't know how it's even possible that more negative stuff about Blake Lively seems to keep coming out. Almost of her own volition, herself, burying herself with her own words in videos like the one we watched earlier. Let me know down below. Has any of the information that's come out lately changed your mind about either of them? There are people in our live chat who are in both camps, so it's always interesting to me to hear what people have to say about it. Let me know down in the comments, guys. Remember, PCC is here live on YouTube, 3 p.m. Eastern, every day, Monday through Friday. We'll see you there live. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.